individual white people are saying, I didn't do it, and my ancestors didn't even do it, and you are not your ancestors.
I'm a descendant of those ancestors.
I know.
Bill Maher got into a heated exchange with Charlamagne Tha God on Real Time after the conversation turned to reparations and race. Charlemagne argued in support of reparations, while Maher challenged several of the points being made. The discussion quickly became one of the most intense moments of the show, as both men defended their views. Let's get into the clip and see how the debate unfolded.
Speaking of money, they want to study reparations. Study it. Compensate descendants of slaves for unpaid labor by their ancestors. Jen Psaki, the press spokesman, said, we'll see what happens in the legislative process. I'm curious where you are on this issue. I mean, there's a collective guilt that's asking individuals to recompense. I think that's how we would frame that.
Listen, I think reparations has to happen for black people. You know what I mean? Because slavery was America's original sin. And I really don't think no good is going to come to this country until they atone for their original sin, which was slavery. I mean, my ancestors literally built this country for free. So when you see all of this money being thrown around, you know, $27 trillion in national debt, $1.7 trillion for failed F-35 fighters.
$500,000 for dogs.
$500,000 for fucking dogs. It's like, if you're black in this country, you have to be like, well, what the hell? What's up with us? You know what I mean? So for me personally,
but again,
I don't even see what the issue is.
The issue is that that's the collective guilt. But individual white people are saying, I didn't do it, and my ancestors didn't even do it, and you are not your ancestors. I'm
a descendant of those ancestors.
I know, but
hey, listen,
I honestly cannot believe this debate is still happening. The argument being made is that because someone's ancestors suffered through slavery, their descendants today should receive financial compensation. My view is different. Many groups throughout history have experienced terrible tragedies, wars, persecution, and other hardships that affected later generations. That raises an important question about where the line should be drawn. Some people argue that slavery deserves special treatment because of its lasting impact, while others believe government assistance should be based on current need instead of historical events. Bill Maher challenges that idea during the discussion, asking whether reparations would truly solve the problems supporters believe they would address.
It's old and debt is old, period.
But you've got a lot of money, so you say you should get more.
Should I get more?
Well, no, you should get a check.
Yes, I'm 97% West African, born in Charleston, South Carolina, so I should definitely get a check. But if it's to the point where, you know what, you make too much money, we don't think you deserve it, cool, give it to somebody who needs it. But to act like black people in this country don't deserve reparations is absolutely nuts to me. Hey, this is what I want. Put it like this. America, just treat black people like they're F-35 fighter jets. You had $1.7 trillion to throw at that bullshit. Throw it at the people who actually built this country. I don't care how anybody can dispute that.
But again,
it seems like these talking points have been repeated so many times that some people simply accept them without questioning the details. Once they hear an argument that sounds convincing, they repeat it in interviews and debates without fully explaining how it would work in practice. Bill Maher pushes back by asking for clear answers instead of broad statements, forcing the conversation to move beyond simple slogans and into the actual policy behind the proposal.
You didn't build this country.
So what?
For you personally.
So what? I'm a descendant.
But I'm saying we can't write a check to a ghost. You know.
Why not?
Why not? Because, you know,
especially when the ghost's descendants are still
that's a
here.
Okay.
Listen, let me ask you a question. How do you right the wrong of slavery then?
Well, I mean, I think reparations can come in many forms.
Why not? Captain King, it's America.
No, I agree. I mean, I think reparations do come in many forms. We should be spending much, much more on the schools that serve black children. We should be spending much, much more on the infrastructure in predominantly black communities. We should be doing all sorts of things to close the opportunity gap, which is enormous and which we've done a terrible job closing. A debt is owed, and that's one of the ways you repay it.
Simple as that.
The problem I have with the reparations conversation is the questions you were asking a moment ago. It's practically a non-starter. I mean, in terms of practicality. No one's going to agree on the terms. No one's going to agree exactly on the eligibility criteria. Nobody's going to agree on the amount, and it's politically very unpopular. And while we're talking about something that I don't think is passable, and that's why Obama didn't talk about it.
Why is it not passable, though?
What?
Why is it not passable?
Look at public opinion polls. It's just not going to get done. And that's not about the merits. That's about the appeal out there. And in the meantime, there's so much we can and should be doing that could be called reparations about the debt we owe.
Well, let's change the name. Call it.
Even if the name of the policy changed, I do not think that would affect the larger debate. The real question is whether a single payment would actually solve the problem supporters are trying to address. Many people argue that deeper issues involving education, family stability, job opportunities, and local communities require long-term solutions rather than one-time financial payments. Others believe reparations are about acknowledging historical injustice rather than fixing every modern challenge. That difference in perspective becomes one of the biggest disagreements during the discussion.
But economic equity packages. Whatever it is, as he said, a debt is
You
old.
could say Obamacare, which helped black and brown people way more than white people. Obviously, all people can sign up for Obamacare, but that is the practical effect of it, is a form of reparations. There's a tax that everybody pays. I don't think it's capped. Rich people pay more. Those kind of solutions are different. I mean, listen to me what Glenn Lowry says. He says,
Okay.
It frames the moral claims African Americans legitimately have in the wrong way. The idea this debt can be paid is a terrible idea. That's his.
Here's the thing. Once again, it's white people not wanting to be held accountable.
Well, that's a black person.
Well, he's okay. A black person.
Glenn Lowry said.
Okay. What's his name?
Glenn Lowry. You know Glenn
Okay.
Lowry.
Well, I just think that it's a debt that is owed to black people in America.
At this point, the conversation starts to go in circles. Instead of directly responding to each argument, one side repeats the same central point that a debt is owed, while the other side keeps asking how that proposal would solve today's problems. If the goal is reducing poverty, some people argue that assistance should be based on financial need regardless of race. Others believe reparations are meant to address a specific historical injustice rather than serve as an anti-poverty program. Those two ideas are often treated as if they are the same, but they are actually different arguments, which is why this debate continues without either side changing its position.
Simple. And I'll ask the question, if y'all don't think it should be cash, what should it be? If y'all don't think it should be, if there should be any reparations to black people, what should it be?
All right. So
I want to know, do you think that black people should get reparations?
I think it should be more like what Frank and I are saying. Different, not a check. No, I think it should be done more by class. I mean, 21% of blacks are below the poverty line. So that means we're giving checks to 80% of people who are not in poverty. Shouldn't it better be done that if we're going to pass out money? That's what I was starting the show with. If we're going to pass out money, let's pass it out to
the poor and disenfranchised. Absolutely.
Well, and is a one-time check going to change a life as much as a real investment in education? As much as a real investment in young people's social programs? I think a debt is owed, and I have no problem paying it in cash. I'm just talking about where the money goes to help the most number of people quickest.
Yeah. I think it should be all of that simply because there is really no price point that you could put on reparations for slavery. Like none. Like there's no number you can put on what my ancestors went through in this country.
Yeah.
By the end of the discussion, it is clear that neither side is going to convince the other. Bill Maher continues pressing for practical answers, while Charlemagne sticks to his position that reparations are justified. The exchange remains passionate from start to finish and leaves plenty for viewers to debate. Let me know what you think about Bill Maher's debate with Charlamagne Tha God on Real Time. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next upload.